So we said Invictus DAO. As you see, they have UST bonds. That's a funny bond. That's a funny bond. As you see, the price of the bond is 213, while the Invictus price is 215. So the discount is pretty small. So what's happening here? Sudden transition from the general stuff to super specific. Talking about Invictus DAO, which is an it's an fork. Yeah, it's an Olympus DAO fork, but it's not a fork because it's rebuilt on Solana. It's all written in Rust, so it's not really just ported or copied or forked or EMV'd. It's just written with having in mind Olympus DAO. These guys have created a cool treasury that holds lots of different assets. If you go here, you're gonna see in their Sonar Watch their treasury that holds, holds USDC, it holds USDT, it's called MSOL. This is their risky asset. This is what they consider it their most risky asset. They're now holding $500,000 in UST, and as you see, all the Solana is in MSOL. The rest, I think, they're airdrops and shit that they were given. These are not things that they have. As you see, they also own quite a lot of LP. They own $35.5 million of LP, meaning that they own a large percentage of the fees that decentralized markets earn them from trading. This is the idea here. This that they are. Will continuously allow their treasury to grow, even if they're not selling any more bonds, just because will be trading and fees are going to accumulate in the treasury. As well, we can see they have some stuff in Tulip, which they have some USDC and some USDT. They are lending those. What are they doing on Tulip? I'm not sure exactly. But as you see, it's not all their money. They've kept quite a lot out. 13 million USDC though is much bigger than their biggest part is here on Tulip. Interesting stuff. As you see, they're just starting to get UST bonds, which is going to further decentralize their stablecoin holding. It's interesting that they went for the UST. This kind of takes them away from the centralization of USDC and USDT, because these are centrally maintained pegs, meaning that there is a fat lady. You can have that in your mind that is behind the computer, making sure that every time someone buys a USDT, an asset, liquid or illiquid, since we're talking about USDT, is put in the treasury that corresponds to that value. Meaning that if that fat lady is removed from her position, nobody can actually know if this is continuing to happening. That's why audits are happening, and that's why Tether is located in the Bahamas. I mean, you don't need me to say more. You can connect the dots. Despite that, I hold a little bit of USDT. I think they've been here with us since the beginning. They've battled quite a lot for us. Were forced, obviously, to be in the Bahamas. They would never be allowed to have that journey. USDC, on the other hand, is in the west coast of the United States, located, and it's audited, and they have liquid reserves. UST, as we said, is an algorithmic stablecoin, which it's riskier in other ways. There's no centralization risk, but there is a risk from the price of Luna, always there, since it backs a little bit of the coin, and we've seen in the past, as early as March 2021, the peg being lost for a few hours. So do your research and diversify your stablecoin holdings. It's interesting to see, and it's interesting to listen to the Invictus innovator, who's the leader of Invictus, talk in the UST podcast, where he actually said that they considered adding Pi, which is Solana's DAI. So the version of DAI which is a LP-backed stablecoin is the version of DAI Ethereum. DAI is on Ethereum. The version of DAI in Solana is called Pi, and Invictus innovators said that this is a derivative of USDC and USDT, which is just additional risk, another layer of risk, adding one more coin on top of those two centralized ones, which does not fit the profile of Invictus, which they want to promote decentralization, and hence they chose to do work with Terra. Another interesting point was that Terra was the one approaching Invictus, not the other way around. At least that's what was said on the AMA, which is freaking interesting, right? I see lots of chattering on the chat, guys. I'm gonna go backwards and read everything, but a bit later in the end. So what else? Yeah. So the UST at the moment, as you see, is negative. Invictus price just dumped, so it's 211, which makes the bond more expensive. So if you're considering buying a bond, do not buy. Don't be an idiot. Wait for the bond price to drop. Refresh a couple of times. Wait a couple of hours. Talk to the Invictus community, or talk to the Grape community, or talk to your friends. I don't know what you're gonna do. Just don't buy that bond. There's no point at buying that bond. If you get a lower price bond, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bond whatever money you're gonna bond, and then you're gonna be constantly every 2 hours coming here, and you're gonna be redeeming whatever money has been invested, and you're gonna be taking the money, the in tokens that are just being released by the bond, you're gonna be taking them to the stake, and you're gonna be staking them. So that's the only way. You should any other way invalidates your efforts at profit. So if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to be redeeming your bond and staking it, then you are gonna be missing. Now, why not buy in directly? Of course you can buy in directly. Of course you can buy in directly, and this is what you want to do when the return is negative. You should not buy the bond. You should go buy Invictus straight. But if you want to achieve the highest possible return while keeping prices stable, let's assume that this is a normal return. It's not negative, it's positive, let's say that. So the discount is a real discount, and it's not like charging you money. So let's assume that the UST bond has a 5% discount, so it would be just 5 here. That would make the in price higher than the bond price, which would make sense for you to go buy that bond, and then every time a little bit of your in token is released from the bond, take it and realize that the extra APY from the staking. Otherwise, you can just buy in and stake it. As you see, I'm making 1.08 in per day. I saw a really cool, really cool, what's it called? Hoot.watch, where you see how's the portfolio, the treasury, and all the other, the market cap, and the supply, the staked percentage. So you see it's always around the high 93s. Interesting. Then you can go here, check your portfolio. Yeah, this is my portfolio. As you see, if you notice carefully. Cheers. A little bit more alpha for you guys. I need a haircut, right? I know. People are telling me. I'm sorry for my messy hair, guys. After a year of being together, I feel so comfortable that yeah. I'm sorry. I'm So look at this return on investment. I'm gonna zoom in so you get an understanding here. Look, in 7 days I'll have 76. In 30 days I'll have 109. In a year I'll have 20,000 and a half. Do you realize that I'm gonna make 20,000 in Invictus? It's stupid. Do you think? Do you think, guys, that Invictus is going to be scarce? Going like I'm gonna share this because it's interesting to all of you. So I'm gonna share it on Twitch. So these are the emission predictions for Invictus, not for Invictus, for for Olympus DAO. As you see, there's going to be a time where there's going to be 100 billion tokens. The total ohm supply is going to be, it could be 100 billion tokens. That's a lot. Of course, the APY is going to be under 10%, but this doesn't make the token scarce. On the other hand, as the treasury of the Invictus goes up, and the trend here, yeah, we're seeing, let's see, a 30-day trend. I mean, the treasury is dropping because the price of the assets is dropping, because Solana dropped, because that's the risky asset. But the treasury, in terms of stablecoin, is just going to be going up. And they're going to be owning more and more and more of their liquidity, which means that the dashboard here, the treasury, this part here, that at least its biggest part is going to be it's going to be made by stablecoin, is going to be going up. So theoretically, the backed price of IN, at least the stablecoin part price of IN, is going to be going up. And if Solana pumps, yeah, this is going to go much higher. That's very interesting. That's very interesting because it should mean that in a long horizon, despite the emissions being extremely high and the circulation being at the billions, hundreds of billions, the backed price should be higher. And the idea here is not to sell the LP. So as when we went to Sonar Watch, we saw that there is, these guys are holding LP. The idea is never to sell the LP. The LP is never sold. So this part is never sold. What happens is Invictus drops in price, and USDC is being transferred from one bucket, the USDC bucket, to the IN bucket. So the whole LP drops in price. But this doesn't mean that they're selling the LPs. So LPs and stablecoins are here to stay. Now, have they said at what price they're going to come out and buy the Invictus token in order to rescue the price from dumping under a certain level? Because otherwise the treasury makes no... There is no command that will activate the treasury to go buy tokens from the open market in order to back the token. So it's all theory. Like most of the fucking things we've invested in. But it's beautiful theory, and sometimes theory becomes reality, and then some rare times academia is closer to the real world. But yeah, I'm bearish once again. I'm holding quite a lot of Invictus. For me, this is a long-term play. This is not something that I'm going to actually sell in a month or two. I'm planning to stay here. I've spoken with the community. I've spoken with the innovator. I've spoken with lots of parties around. I'm keeping my eyes open. I know Olympus DAO is coming to Solana with a huge partner. I'm not sure this has been openly talked about. I'm not gonna leak the information, but just out of safety. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is a confidential information. I know Olympus DAO is coming on Solana with a banger partnership. I'm gonna continue staking my Invictus here, and I'm not going to liquidate anytime soon. I'm gonna play my bet, as I think these guys are capable of creating a treasury that will be ever growing. So of course, lovely internet friends and apes, I'm going to let you know if I decide to sell my Invictus. I'm going to tell you, hey guys, I'm selling the Invictus. That's the reason I'm doing it. For now, I'm going to keep it. Cheers. Let's drink some alpha. And let's wish that our portfolios remain green for the rest of 2022. Cheers to that.